and also sannyas. So from this we can see that as one of Srila Prabhupada's very dear disciples, very qualified disciples, to continue the preaching which Srila Prabhupada established and all over the world. So we had the good fortune of meeting His Holiness many times here in Vrindavan Dham, in Mayapur Dham, and even in the Western country he was preaching. We know all over the world, in Europe specifically, in Switzerland and France. I met him there also a few times in Switzerland, and he was preaching in America also. I met him also there. So we can see that he's embodiment of all good qualities. As we know, there are 26 qualities of a Vaishnava mentioned in the scriptures. So His Holiness was the embodiment of all these wonderful qualities. And most prominent is that a devotee is fully surrendered to Krishna. He has taken full shelter of Krishna. And as a sannyasi, so Tridandi sannyasi means he has dedicated his life, his body, his words, and his consciousness, his mind in the service of the Lord, in all humility, and specifically with the purpose of preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is the duty of a sannyasi, to enlighten all the devotees and also those who are not yet devotees, so they may take up Krishna consciousness. So His Holiness was very much empowered to help the devotees, inspire the devotees, and non-devotees also, because of his pure Krishna consciousness, because of his very gentle nature, very sweet nature. Whenever I met His Holiness, I always saw him in a very pleasant mood and always smiling. I never saw him angry, or I never saw him sad. Always I saw him smiling and being very kind to the devotees. And so Srila Prabhupada, seeing his erudition also, he asked him to translate his books in Bengali language, since he was from Bengal, and so which he also took that up. So I remember when I first came to India in 1980, in Vrindavan, then came to Mayapur, and His Holiness was there. He was staying near the Albert Road temple. He had his own place, and he had some disciples who were helping him. So he was translating Prabhupada's books for the benefit of the devotees from Bengal. Although we know the two kinds of devotees are there, the Gauriya and the Oriya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those from Gaudadesh, from Bengal, and those from Orissa. But still, and even here in Braj, for example, we know there are many Braj buses, but still Prabhupada established a temple also, and even he wanted the devotees to perform Harinam Sankirtan, because not everyone, even in Holy Dham, is immediately or fully Krishna conscious due to the influence of material nature. Still, they sometimes also have to be told, they have to be reminded of serving Krishna or how to serve Krishna. Similarly, also in Bengal, and His Holiness was also responsible in Mayapur for the development of Mayapur together with Jayapataka Maharaj and other devotees. Because even in the Holy Dham, there's a need of having the exalted devotees to lead the devotees, to set the example of how to actually engage in Krishna consciousness properly in order to make one's life perfect. So he did so much for Srila Prabhupada, and that is one, his most probably the most important quality is that he's always having, and that is the duty of a disciple, that is offering everything to his spiritual master and is fully dedicated to his spiritual master and always talking about the spiritual master. So His Holiness was always talking, of course, and the spiritual master is giving Krishna to others, or Mahaprabhu. But first he's introducing the disciple to his own spiritual master, especially because Prabhupada is the founder Acharya for ISKCON. So Prabhupada was always in the center of his life and in his preaching also. And even, as we know, the appearance day Vyasa Puja is their celebration. So the appearance day of the spiritual master is told to be Vyasa Puja also because the spiritual master is a representative of Srila Vyasadeva. So the duty of the disciple is there to serve the spiritual master, to glorify the spiritual master. But he accepted it also, but first of all in the morning, on his appearance day, Vyasa Puja celebration, he was using the time to glorify his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And he had god brothers also which he invited, also coming, especially when he was staying in Ujjain. He had a very beautiful temple built there, very quickly, so in record time. How long it took, Bhima Krishna Prabhu, to build the temple in Ujjain? 9 months. 9 months and 22 days. A wonderful temple in Ujjain. I've been a few times in Ujjain, very beautiful temple of Gonitai, Radha Madan Mohan, Krishna Balaram, and they also have done Sandipani Muni, a deity of Sandipani Muni there, because Ujjain, Avantipur, that is a place where Sandipani Muni was staying, and Krishna Balaram, after having left Braj, gone to Mathura, and then they went to the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni in Avantipur, Ujjain, present day in Ujjain. So he established a beautiful temple there, and very wonderful services going on there. So by his influence, so Krishna consciousness has spread there, and so very exemplary his teaching his devotees to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, the disciple has to take shelter of his spiritual master, but then he was teaching his disciples that yes, I'm there in your life, but we, all the members of ISKCON, we should take full shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is the Shiksha Guru for all the devotees in our society through his books for the next many thousands of years. So in this way, so His Holiness is very much respected amongst all his god brothers, all the devotees in ISKCON for his full dedication to Srila Prabhupada and very much putting Srila Prabhupada in the center. So on this auspicious day we pray for his mercy so we may advance in our life so that we can also always keep Prabhupada in the center of our life and also give that impression to others to always have Srila Prabhupada in the center. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mukund Datta Prabhu. Can we now invite Dinabandhu Prabhu to come and share his remembrances? Mukund Datta Prabhu mentioned the temple in Ujjain. In fact, we find that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to Avantipur, Ujjain, I think in early 1930s, and he wanted to establish a Gauriya Math there. And that did not happen until Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj established the temple in 2006, thereby fulfilling the desire of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Tapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swaparandhyam Adadanas Chanandan Tairidam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dalisyam Janmajanmani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripasinnuve vacha patitanam bhavanevyo vaishnavevyo namo namah. So on this very auspicious day of Guru Purnima and the disappearance of Srila Sanatana Goswami, we're gathered here to honor the third disappearance festival of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he joined quite late, but he became very important devotee very, very quickly. Because he was already born in a very high class, very cultured Bengali family. We didn't have such an opportunity ourselves, most of us. Sometimes he was getting, not very easily he got sannyas, and people were thinking, well, wait a minute, he's a newcomer. Prabhupada said, you're the newcomer. And he was actually Prabhupada's dream. Prabhupada, before he went to the West, he was always asking, gentlemen to give him one son to train up to preach Lord Chaitanya's mission. But everybody was interested. They become doctor, lawyer, engineer. So basically they go to the West. And they go to the West, then they get education, and then they see they can make lots of money there. They want to stay. So I can remember that in the very beginning days, we used to think that people from Bharat, they're not going to become devotees. Although we were foolish, actually people in Bharat are by nature they're Krishna conscious. Just it's a little bit covered over. So I can remember when the devotees were staying in Akash Ganga, one devotee came, his name was Vikash. And he always looked very miserable. And every opportunity he got, he would wipe off his tilak. And every time Prabhupada saw him, he said, put your tilak on. And so he'd go put his tilak on, but as soon as Prabhupada would leave, immediately he'd wipe off his tilak. Eventually he revealed himself. He was sent by the CBI to spy on us. So the only Indian devotee in the whole temple was paid to be there. But this was Prabhupada's dream, that some very nice cultured young man would understand the importance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and preach it all over the world. But he had everything. He went to Germany, he got nice education in Germany, he could have got a job, he could have made lots of money, but he saw somebody made some disparaging remark about people from Bharat, and he felt it very badly. And when finally he understood that this was actually his duty, was to show the real glory of Bharat. When Prabhupada went to the West, all the other, what we used to call the up-down Swami, they told him, you'll have to learn how to wear a nice suit and pants and everything, and eat with fork and knife. Prabhupada said, I haven't come here to learn anything. I come here to teach. So everybody else went to the West begging for some technology, begging for some education, begging for some money. Prabhupada went not to beg, to show that actually India, Bharat, has the most wonderful thing to give. Maharaj has the most wonderful, the greatest treasure. And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he understood that point and he dedicated his life immediately to, of course he was very much attached to a certain so-called spiritual personality who said, don't plant tulsi, plant bagan, plant eggplant. But with Prabhupada, very philosophically, he smashed that attachment. And then he understood that Prabhupada is the real bona fide representative of Lord Chaitanya on this planet. And he dedicated his life to him. And this was Prabhupada's dream, that a young, educated boy from Bharat would take up Lord Chaitanya's mission and help him to spread it. So we know, we have seen all in the movies and read in the Leelamrita his steadfast devotion for Srila Prabhupada, how he, in his last days, he took so much wonderful care of Srila Prabhupada. He was just a wonderful person. And as Mukunda Datta was saying, he went to Ujjain, where Bhaktisiddhanta desired that there be a Gaudiya Mat there. Even now I don't think there is there? Even to this day. Still, there's no standing of Gaudiya Vaishnavas there at all in Ujjain. That was a very important place. There's Krishna went to Gurukul, but Maharaj has made, as Mukunda was pointing out, this beautiful white marble temple. It's become a landmark. Everybody goes to Ujjain to see Sandipuni Muni's ashram and a few other places. But now our ISKCON temple that Bhakti Charu Maharaj has erected there, that we heard in very little time, has become a landmark. It is a beautiful place, most astounding. And as Mukunda Datta was pointing out, he always, his appearance day, which is coming sometime in September, he always dedicates it to glorifying Srila Prabhupada. Because this is the real business of the spiritual master, to deliver us to his spiritual master on up through the whole disciplic session to the lotus feet of Krishna. So we're very, very fortunate to have had some association with him. Of course, we didn't get much. We were mostly, toward the end, we were off in South America somewhere. But we're very inspired by his wonderful devotion for Srila Prabhupada. And you're all very, very fortunate to have such a wonderful personality to guide you in your spiritual life and take you to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So on this very special day of his third disappearance festival, we pray that he inspire all of us to continue to push on this Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya and the Sankirtan movement of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Can we now invite Devi Shakti Mataji first to come and say a few words? And after that, Mahadevi Mataji. In fact, the Ujjain temple has, as Prabhu was mentioning, has become one of the landmarks in the whole of Ujjain. Even after the opening of Mahakal corridor, which is attracting thousands and thousands of people, they all make a point to come and visit Radha Madan Mohan temple. When Maharaj opened the Govinda's restaurant right at the beginning, we used to have people coming all the way from Bhopal just to have prasad in Ujjain. Indore, Bhopal. Bhopal is about, I think, 200 kilometers away. They used to come and line up. It was so popular. Mataji.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutle Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Desha Tarine. This is uncomfortable to have the back of our head to the at the time of the lockdown, when Bhakti Charu Swami was still here in India, we had a lot of time to reflect on our service and time to read finally. Most of us were locked in our rooms. And then all of a sudden, the news came that Bhakti Charu Swami decided he was going to, in the middle of the, no one could move practically, he was going to go to America to continue with his project in Florida. And everyone was completely anguished. Everyone tried to stop him, everyone. And during his travels to get to Bombay and then finally to go, and then getting there, becoming sick, and then the anguish when he was in the hospital, the ICU, finally being put on ventilator, everyone was praying all around the world. And they started daily speaking about him. And what I did was I was reading his book. I read it twice at that time. And I was taking out of there what I considered to be sutras that Bhakti Charu Swami had learned and was passing on to us. And I saw a parallel between what Prabhupada was experiencing in his last days and what Bhakti Charu Swami was experiencing, and we didn't know it was his last days at that time. And I was shocked to see it, because Prabhupada so quickly picked up Bhakti Charu Swami as soon as he joined. And I knew him when he was a bhakta. I needed a helper, and when Bhakti Charu Swami was here, he reminded me that I used to help you because being a new bhakta, of course, we didn't immediately upon seeing him. When I saw him in Mayapur, I realized this is an exceptional person, and I decided at that time when I saw that such a person of such caliber had joined ISKCON, I thought now there's some hope for ISKCON in India if we're attracting young men like this. And then when I needed help with setting up the book distribution in Mayapur, they gave me him as an assistant, and I felt like I was assisting him. He was so intelligent, so efficient. And then next thing, when I came back here, next thing I heard, he had become Prabhupada's secretary, servant. Prabhupada had assigned him as the secretary for all of India for taking care of the correspondence. It was an instant. I compared it to, you get these instant mixes. You just add water and poof. So he already had all of the qualifications of a Vaishnava before he came to ISKCON. He already knew how to wear a dhoti, he already was clean, he already had a sparkling face, everything was already there. He just needed Prabhupada's touch. And then Prabhupada instantly gave him first and second initiation. It was the first time any of us had ever seen such a thing. Double initiation given by Prabhupada. And then right after that, he wanted Kirchor Gopinath to take sannyas. And even the sannyasis they couldn't believe it. He's just a brand new devotee, Prabhupada. How can you let him prove himself? Let him do something first. No, Prabhupada was insistent. And Bhakti Charu Swami saw that as Prabhupada protecting him. He couldn't go backwards anymore once he took sannyas. And here, how he just selflessly served Srila Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada decided he was going to the West, no one wanted Prabhupada to go to the West. We all saw Prabhupada's condition. The Kaviraj, he warned that we're in the middle of the treatment. If he leaves now, then all the advancement we've been making he'll fall back to worse than the condition he was in. But Prabhupada was determined to go. And no one could stop him. And the devotees on the other side were praying that he would come because they needed Prabhupada's encouragement. And Bhakti Charu Swami was just in tears. Because he was a new devotee, he didn't feel that he could be forceful with the senior devotees, that don't let him go. And he was crying, and he couldn't go with them. His passport wasn't ready. It was just a terribly painful situation for Bhakti Charu Swami when Prabhupada left here. And then when he came back and he saw Prabhupada's condition, Prabhupada immediately called for him to come again as his servant. And up to the last moment, putting the Charanamrit in Prabhupada's mouth. And then at the Samadhi time, holding Prabhupada's body. As the devotees started throwing the dirt in, he was still holding Prabhupada's body, and he wanted to just stay there and remain in the Samadhi with Prabhupada and get buried along with him. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj understood what was going through his mind and went down into the pit and grabbed his arm and pulled him out of the Samadhi pit. And the Kaviraj, he told him, he said, don't cry. This is the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. Your spiritual master is going back to Godhead. So, going through all of this and taking out the realizations that Bhakti Charu Swami had at this very crucial time in his life when he saw Srila Prabhupada enter the eternal pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and he was left behind as his personal servant. He felt such intense separation from him. He wrote something. Srila Prabhupada's assurance that although he would someday disappear from our vision, he would always be present. For a while, in order to lead us on onto the spiritual path, he had become visible to us. And then he had left our sight to motivate us to move forward toward the spiritual world to find him. Sometime in the future, it does not matter when, I will reach my ultimate destination and once again be at the lotus feet of my beloved Srila Prabhupada. So this was the goal of Bhakti Charu Swami, to once again be at the lotus feet serving his spiritual master again, Srila Prabhupada. And not everyone had the opportunity to get the personal association and the personal service, especially such intimate service as Bhakti Charu Swami was able to execute. Prabhupada chose him to do that service. He kept him close to him up to the last moment. And Bhakti Charu Swami's only desire was to again enter into that service at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. So when this lockdown occurred and we were all bound, we couldn't move anywhere, we couldn't travel, we couldn't preach, this memory of Prabhupada in his condition, even then going to preach, was motivating factor that how can I just sit here and rot? Prabhupada, he used to say, I'm just rotting here in Vrindavan. So Bhakti Charu Swami, he felt that he was rotting, just sitting here in India. He had to go on, he had to fulfill the orders that Prabhupada had given him. And he said, I must go. And same thing, complete parallel. No one wanted him to go. Everyone was pleading with him, wait, wait. But no, he felt he had to go. And he had to continue with the instructions Prabhupada gave him. And therefore, as a result of that, he fell ill. He left this world to enter into the eternal pastimes again, following Srila Prabhupada wherever he's taking his disciples. And our anguish is that we're still here. We're still here rotting. We don't have that motivation and that love for Prabhupada that such a dear disciple as Bhakti Charu Swami had, that he took that jump and Prabhupada grabbed him up and took him to wherever he is to continue in his eternal service. So I'm just praying someday I'll have the love and the dedication that Bhakti Charu Swami has for his spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada will allow me also to join him wherever he and his dear disciples are, so we can continue in his service. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can we now invite Mahadevi Mataji to come? I was told that in the last 2-3 weeks of Maharaj's presence in America, he had a dream. Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj had a dream in which Tamal Krishna Maharaj came. And in that dream, Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Bhakti Charu Swami, let's go, Prabhupada is calling us. So, and only 2-3 weeks later, Maharaj left.
Jai Bhakti Charu Swami Ki Jai. So as Maharaj used to always do before he would speak, he would offer his humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and he would ask all the devotees to join in. So let's all offer our humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and to each other. Nama Om Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paskachade Shatarane. And to each other, Vansha Kalpa Drubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Bhavane Bhyo Vaishnave 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 Bhyo Namo Namaha. So as Dinabandhu Prabhu was giving such a wonderful class today, describing the glories of Srila Sanatana Goswami, and as we know, one of the verses in the prayers to the 6 Goswamis is how they were very respectful, and they were very kind to the ruffians and as well as to the devotees. So when I heard this morning, I was instantly reminded of Bhakti Charu Swami, that every time he would come to Vrindavan, I noticed he was always kind to everyone, to the men, to the women, and to the children. And when he would speak, it was like just like when we were hearing him this morning, like just a river of nectar. His voice is so beautiful and so soothing, and you could understand that everything he was speaking was repeating what he had understood from Srila Prabhupada. So when I would see Bhakti Charu Swami here in Vrindavan, he would always say, "Oh, there's Malati's mother." Because when he did the Abai series, he asked my daughter Chaitanya Nitai to play the part of Malati. And 6 of the devotees from the 2nd generation were asked to play the 6 that went to London. And those young devotees still today remember how kind Bhakti Charu Swami was to them. They had many challenging questions about ISKCON, about all kinds of things that were going on. And every evening, Bhakti Charu Swami would spend time with them and answer their questions. Even though he probably had other pressing engagement, he would take that time with these youth. Another thing I remember about Bhakti Charu Swami is Daivi Shakti was so nicely telling us that he was taking care of Srila Prabhupada, of course, right up until the last moment when Prabhupada left us. So there was one particular pastime that Bhakti True Swami used to tell when Prabhupada had been fasting, and then all of a sudden he smelled the kachori. And as we know, Prabhupada kachori mukhi. And actually it was our dear Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu cooking kachoris in the kitchen. And so Prabhupada told Bhakti True Swami, get me kachori. Now Prabhupada had been fasting for several days, just taking a little buttermilk, a little bit of liquid, and Bhakti True Swami, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, they were all, no, Prabhupada, you can't have something fried. This would be devastating for your health. But he said, get me kachori. And Bhakti True Swami had to go downstairs. He said his hands were trembling. And but he remembered that Vibhu Chaitanya was smiling, and he instantly put the kachori on the silver plate, and then Bhakti True Swami brought it back up to Prabhupada, and everybody was so afraid that Prabhupada was just going to leave on the spot, because how could his digestion handle a fried kachori? But Prabhupada ate the kachori, and then he said, get me another one. And Bhakti True Swami, it was like his whole body, he said, was shaking. Tears were coming. No, Prabhupada, get me kachori. So he had to go back downstairs to the kitchen of Vibhu Chaitanya. And again, Vibhu Chaitanya, even though Bhakti True Swami told Vibhu Chaitanya, he immediately, he remembered Vibhu Chaitanya's big smile. He put the kachori on the little dish and brought it back up to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada relished the kachori. So Bhakti True Swami had so many qualities of just doing what Prabhupada wanted. He had the ability to give Krishna consciousness so purely when he would speak, but more so by his behavior. So it's very nice when we know so many verses and we know Srila Prabhupada's books, Gyan, you might say, but this Vigyan, Bhakti True Swami was, to me, personification of actually behaving as a Krishna conscious person. And he used this word consciousness, as we heard this morning, regularly, consciousness, that we're actually conscious of Krishna in the center of any situation. We're conscious of Srila Prabhupada and being grateful that even if a situation is unfavorable, we can make that situation favorable by putting Prabhupada and Krishna in the center. One thing I was Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he had written a beautiful glorification to Bhakti True Swami, and I just wanted to take the time to read it because it's so nice. Dear disciples of Bhakti True Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Bhakti True Maharaj participated in the ISKCON Bureau meetings on May 25th, after which he left for Bombay and flew to America. Unfortunately, Maharaj fell ill in America and departed from this planet on July 4th. This was a very auspicious day. It was the first day of Chaturmasya, the disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami, and also Guru Purnima. This was a most auspicious departure for a very special Vaishnava, although painful for everyone. The community of devotees worldwide was shocked when they heard of Maharaj's departure. He was willing to go to any lengths to serve Prabhupada's mission by his exemplary behavior and determination. Maharaj was very fortunate as he received first and second initiation in a single ceremony and sannyas on Gora Purnima in 1977. So this is, of course, the year when our Srila Prabhupada left us. Srila Prabhupada gave him the monumental assignment of translating his books into Bengali. Maharaj took this assignment very seriously. I believe he used to wake up at night and continue translating till morning, following in the footsteps of how our Srila Prabhupada would rise early in the morning for translating as well. For Prabhupada's pleasure, he built the beautiful temple in Ujjain in just 10 months. This is one of ISKCON's most beautiful temples and speaks volumes about Bhakti Charu Swami's dedication to Srila Prabhupada's mission. He had a burning desire to make Prabhupada's achievements well known around the world. With immense struggle and persistence, he was able to convince even India's premier and practically lone TV channel at that time to telecast the Abhay Charan series for a whole year. These are only a few of his unlimited achievements. I don't want to take up too much time because it'll be nice to hear from the disciples. But I just remember when Bhakti Charu Swami was there, many of us were there when Tamal Krishna Maharaj left us. And at that time, he gave a profound seminar on Bhakti. You can probably look that up. And he wanted everyone there to meditate on Bhakti as love. We're here to learn how to love our spiritual master, to love Krishna. And I remember him many times saying that we shouldn't be afraid of this word, love, Bhakti. And he went around the room and we all had to say something about this word, love. And he said the most important part of this word, love, is our loving relationships with our Guru, with our Lords, and with each other, with the Vaishnavas. And he talked a little bit about the 6 loving relationships that we have: giving and accepting prasad, giving and accepting gifts, and also having confidential relationships with each other. And in this way, we can develop our love for our Guru and for Krishna. Maharaj was always serving the devotees in a very gentle way. He was the personification of being a gentleman. Prabhupada actually asked all of us to behave like ladies and gentlemen. And as someone mentioned before, they never saw Maharaj angry or sad. So I was thinking of the verse in Bhagavad Gita 9:2 at the very end where Krishna is saying this process is joyfully performed. So I feel that that also personifies Bhakti Charu Swami. So I'll end here, and I ask all the disciples of Srila Bhakti Charu, if I can be of any service to you, it would be my great honor. And I hope that I can also develop just even one little drop of devotion that Bhakti Charu Swami had for Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for your contribution. Can we now invite Golokanand Maharaj? Okay. He is saying Bhakti Dhira Damodar Maharaj. He is saying Golokanand Maharaj. Okay. Bhakti Charu Swami used to visit Vrindavan, but not as often as he visited other places. So once we asked him, why doesn't he go to Vrindavan so often? So his reply was that every time he comes to Vrindavan, he feels great pain in his heart because of Prabhupada's departure. He was there when Prabhupada left, so every time he came to Vrindavan, that reminded him of Prabhupada leaving. So that's how attached, Mahadevi Mataji was saying, his attachment to Prabhupada, that's how attached he was to Srila Prabhupada.
Goes all over the world. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. On behalf of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar, Shri Krishna Balram Ji, Shri Gaur Nitai, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to thank all of you who are present here today.
तो हमारे विग्रह श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम, श्री श्री गौर निताई, श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर और श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की तरफ से आप सबको जो भी यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं सबको धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं.
I am definitely not qualified to speak in such an august assembly where Maharaj is present, Dinabandhu Prabhu, Devi Shakti Mataji, Mahadevi Mataji, and so many senior devotees are here, Ishwara Prabhu. So it is definitely not very much appropriate for me to speak much.
तो मेरा कोई योग्यता नहीं है जबकि यहाँ पर इतने सारे वरिष्ठ प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्य लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हैं.
It has been my great fortune to be associated with Maharaj for many years.
तो ये मेरा बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है कि बहुत सालों तक मेरे को महाराज का संग प्राप्त हुआ है.
Maybe close to 35 to 40 years like this.
35-40 साल तक.
Many of you have been knowing that Maharaj has done very wonderful services as explained by many of our senior leaders. This is definitely a fact.
तो जैसे कि आप सब लोग ने सुना है और बहुत सारे भक्तों ने बताए हैं कि महाराज ने कितने सुंदर तरीके से सेवा किए हैं प्रभुपाद जी के आंदोलन में.
But Maharaj has served in many countries. So his services are not limited to one place. He has been constantly contributing in many countries.
और महाराज सिर्फ भारतवर्ष में ही सेवा नहीं किए हैं प्रभुपाद जी के लिए, बहुत सारे देशों में महाराज ने सेवा किए हैं.
We also were very fortunate because Maharaj was GBC of Mauritius and we joined from Mauritius, so he was our GBC also.
तो हम इस तरह से भी बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है हमारे लिए कि महाराज मॉरिशस के भी GBC रहे.
We had the opportunity to learn many things which is taught in the scriptures and Srila Prabhupada and many acharyas and sadhus by Bhakti Charu Maharaj.
तो जैसे कि शास्त्रों में बताए गए हैं और बहुत सारे साधु संतों के माध्यम से बताए गए हैं, उसी प्रकार का शिक्षा हमको महाराज से भी प्राप्त हुए हैं.
Maharaj ji has been like a role model. He would take every single opportunity for him to depict that what the scriptures mention can be also be translated in the life of a sadhu.
तो महाराज हम सब के लिए एक रोल मॉडल है कि शास्त्रों में जैसे बताए हैं उसी प्रकार का शिक्षा हम अपने जीवन में कैसे उतार सकते हैं, जो कि महाराज ने अपने जीवन में करके दिखाए हैं.
He will take every opportunity to teach others that this is what is required for us to be a representative of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
महाराज हर एक परिस्थिति में ये ऐसा करते थे कि सबको शिक्षा प्रदान करते थे कि हम अपने जीवन में प्रभुपाद जी के शिक्षा को किस प्रकार से उतारें और सबके सामने प्रस्तुत करें.
By his own example, he would teach that we should not give a wrong impression of the teachings of the scriptures to other people.
तो महाराज अपने उदाहरण से ये दिखाए हैं कि हम कोई गलत तरीके से पूरे संसार के सामने ये शिक्षा को प्रदर्शन नहीं करें.
So on many occasions, I would be interacting with him because he had been also a very good manager. And my line was management line.
तो महाराज स्वयं भी बहुत अच्छे मैनेजर थे और मैं भी मैनेजमेंट में था, तो इस प्रकार महाराज से भी बहुत सारी शिक्षा प्राप्त हुए हैं.
So when I would ask him that Maharaj, under these circumstances, we had a festival and so many people are coming, so it is difficult to satisfy everybody. So when I would ask him, Maharaj would say that if you don't deal nicely with the people, this means you are sending these people away from Lord Krishna, and you are also giving a bad example of what Srila Prabhupada has taught us.
तो कुछ परिस्थिति में महाराज ने इस प्रकार से हमको बताए कि अगर हम प्रभुपाद जी के, अगर हम माने भक्तों से अगर अच्छी तरह से व्यवहार नहीं रखते हैं, तो हम प्रभुपाद जी की जो शिक्षा हैं उसको संसार के सामने प्रॉपरली हम प्रस्तुत नहीं कर पा रहे हैं.
Some occasion I was discussing with Maharaj that how, as a renounced person, us, we are dealing with huge amount of money. So that contradicts our character and portfolio.
तो जैसे कि हम महाराज से एक बार आलोचना किए हैं कि हम वैराग्य के जीवन में बहुत सारे भगवान के जो लक्ष्मी हैं उसको हम किस प्रकार से डील कर सकते हैं.
So Maharaj said, and he taught that how to maintain this ISKCON organization is also our responsibility.
तो महाराज ने हमको बताए कि किस प्रकार से ये पूरे इस्कॉन का संचालन करना है, ये भी हमारे दायित्व है.
So our responsibility does not lie only in preaching, but we also have the responsibility that the organization continues even after we are not there.
तो हमारा सिर्फ ये कार्य नहीं है कि संस्था को चलाए रखना, पर हमारा ये भी कर्तव्य है कि जब हम नहीं रहेंगे तब भी ये संस्था चलता रहे.
Like you would have known, like Maharaj, he went there in Ujjain, he stayed there. For constructing the Ujjain temple, Maharaj was sitting there. And everything was being monitored by Maharaj of how it is to be done, and he did that in a very short period of time.
तो उज्जैन मंदिर का जब निर्माण हो रहा था तो महाराज वहीं पर स्थित होके ये प्रोजेक्ट को चलाए और पूरी तरह से बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से महाराज ने इसका कार्य संपन्न किया.
And when you will go to Ujjain, Prabhuji, Vimal Krishna Prabhu is also helping and managing in the temple. The temple has many sources of income to run the temple. Just like now Maharaj is not there, but he took care that the temple could still be maintained.
तो उज्जैन मंदिर में जबकि महाराज अभी शारीरिक रूप से उपस्थित नहीं हैं, पर फिर भी महाराज इस तरह से उसका संचालन करके गए हैं कि अभी तक उज्जैन का मंदिर बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से चल रहा है.
I used to make many temples, and for these temples I would purchase Prabhupada deities from Ujjain.
तो मैंने उज्जैन मंदिर के लिए प्रभुपाद जी का जो विग्रह है, अच्छा, मैंने बहुत सारे मंदिर के निर्माण का कार्य संभाले हैं और प्रभुपाद जी का विग्रह मैंने उज्जैन मंदिर से खरीदे हैं.
I would definitely make sure that I purchase Srila Prabhupada deities from Ujjain.
तो मैं ये निश्चय करता था हर बार कि प्रभुपाद जी का जो विग्रह है वो उज्जैन से ही खरीदा जाए.
So I used to visit Ujjain regularly.
तब हम उज्जैन रेगुलरली जाया करते थे.
Even till today, I coordinate. Either I go, I send somebody, but Ujjain is part of my trip.
या तो मैं जाता हूँ, नहीं तो मैं किसी को भेजता हूँ.
But even till today, I do this.
आज भी ऐसा ही होता है.
So one day I went to purchase a deity of Srila Prabhupada, And the color of Srila Prabhupada was a little bit more darkish, more brown. So when I went there, and I told to Amala Bhakta Prabhu, he was in charge of that department. I told him, you know, this color of Srila Prabhupada to me looks very dark. So in my opinion, it should be a little bit lighter. What do you think?
तो एक बार मैं प्रभुपाद जी का विग्रह लेने के लिए गया उज्जैन में, और मेरे को लगा कि प्रभुपाद जी के विग्रह में जो रंग है वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा गाढ़ा है, और मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये थोड़ा और हल्का होना चाहिए प्रभुपाद जी का जो रंग है। तो मैंने अमल भक्त प्रभु से पूछा कि आप क्या समझते हैं।
So Prabhuji replied to me that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj makes sure that all these single details that is there is being properly taken care. However, while mixing the colors this time, the person has somehow also put it a little bit dark. But in this place, it is directly under the direction of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj that what should be the color of Srila Prabhupada.
तो जब प्रभुपाद जी का विग्रह का निर्माण होता था तो परम पूज्य भक्ति चारू महाराज स्वयं हर एक चीज को देख रेख करते थे, और महाराज ही इस प्रकार से ये रंग प्रभुपाद जी का कैसा होगा ये संपूर्ण महाराज के संचालन में ही होता था।
So by that time somehow because it is manual work, so somehow it was done like this. But at that time I understood that Maharaj would go to that much detail to ascertain that Srila Prabhupada was like this and he should be seen like this any part of the world.
तो महाराज हमेशा ऐसा ही मतलब निश्चय करते थे कि प्रभुपाद जी इस प्रकार से ही थे और इनका जो विग्रह है वो भी इसी प्रकार का होना चाहिए।
As Devi Shakti Mataji said, that Maharaj's connection with Srila Prabhupada has been quite intimate. So, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, his relationship and his activities has also gone till quite far in thinking and addressing and preaching and making that figure of Prabhupada to be brought to the world to as much extent as possible.
तो जैसे कि देवी शक्ति माता जी ने कहे हैं कि प्रभुपाद जी के साथ जो महाराज प्रभुपाद जी के प्रति जो महाराज का प्रेम था वो बहुत ही उच्च कोटि का था, और सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं प्रभुपाद जी का जो शिक्षा है उन्होंने महाराज ने बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से ग्रहण किए हैं और पूरे दुनिया में इसका प्रसार किए हैं।
Maybe many senior devotees would be knowing that in a family, if some child is felt to be responsible to such an extent, then only the parents would make the child to take care of the family. If in the family there are many members, the father would think that this one can take care of the wife, of the children, of the business, so the parents would grant that responsibility to that specific child.
I didn't understand. Can you repeat it?
In a family, there are many members, but the parents would understand that this person is capable of taking the responsibility of the family, then only the parents will give that responsibility to that child only to take care of the family, of the business or anything else.
तो एक परिवार में बहुत सारे सदस्य होते हैं और परिवार के सदस्यों को अगर ये लगता है कि ये जो व्यक्ति हैं ये पूरे घर का जिम्मेदारी ले सकते हैं तभी वो व्यक्ति के ऊपर वो जिम्मेदारी डालते हैं।
So Srila Prabhupada could recognize that he was not given these responsibilities just for granted like this, because he was a person of such a stature. That is why Srila Prabhupada in such a very limited time could entrust such level of confidence and responsibility on his shoulder.
तो उसी प्रकार से श्रील प्रभुपाद जी भी समझ गए थे कि परम पूज्य भक्ति चारू महाराज के द्वारा वो किस प्रकार का दायित्व लेके ये पूरे संस्था को चला सकते हैं.
And if you see today, not only the fact that Bhakti Charu Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj did service in Ujjain or 1-2 places. In so many countries, so many projects and many important works are happening still today by his hands and by the hands of his disciples.
और जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं, सिर्फ भारतवर्ष में ही नहीं, कितने सारे देशों में कितने सारा सेवा महाराज के हस्तकमल से हो रहा है.
Maharaj had also one very great ability. He had the capacity to preach to very high class people.
महाराज का और एक विशेष गुण है कि महाराज बहुत उच्च घराना के लोगों को प्रचार कर सकते हैं.
He maintained his teacher like this, and he speaks. He speaks in a very polite, polished way, and he could impress, touch upon the hearts of very big intellectuals and high class people.
तो महाराज का जो प्रचार करने का जो शैली था, जो बात दूसरों तक पहुंचाने का जो शैली था, वो कला से महाराज बहुत उच्च कोटि के लोगों के हृदय को भी जीत सकते थे.
And he has been doing this his whole lifetime.
और पूरे जीवन में महाराज ने यही किए हैं.
When he went to America, if I'm not mistaken, he was doing some projects in America.
महाराज अमेरिका में भी महाराज का कुछ प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा था.
During the last time when he left, he was doing some very important big project, a small project, big project in America. That is why, despite all the difficulties, it did not affect him. He was conscious that this service I have to render for the Lord. So he left everything and he went to America.
तो पिछले बार जब महाराज अमेरिका गए थे, बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट प्रोजेक्ट के लिए महाराज गए थे कि वो जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो भगवान को समर्पण किया जाए.
He had been working in all his lifetime. Whatever mission His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj takes, he will deliver it to perfection.
और महाराज अपने जीवन में जो भी प्रोजेक्ट लिए हैं अपने हाथ में, उसको संपूर्ण करके ही रहे हैं.
Until very high standard.
बहुत उच्च स्तर तक.
Lastly, to conclude here, because many devotees are there, I would like also to take this opportunity to thank all the disciples, like we have Sarang Thakur Prabhu here, who is heading the BBT, the book distribution department, which is preaching all over the world. That is headed by Sarang Thakur Prabhu, and so many important activities. He's been doing this for so many years. Bimal Krishna Prabhu is heading he did the project under the direction of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Now he is helping ISKCON Vrindavan in delivering the project. He is heading the project. So, and Radhanath Prabhu, he is taking care of the new bhaktas, and there are many other devotees whom I may not be knowing their names. But not only that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj is not here, but there are some of the very staunch disciples who are as big pillars as whatever Maharaj has said, and they are still driving the organization ahead.
तो अंतिम में मैं महाराज के जितने भी शिष्य लोग हैं सबको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ. सारंग ठाकुर प्रभु जो कि बीबीटी का सेवा कर रहे हैं बहुत सालों तक, बिमल कृष्ण प्रभु उज्जैन का प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, और कृष्ण बलराम मंदिर में अभी जो कृष्ण बलराम कल्चरल सेंटर नया प्रोजेक्ट बनने जा रहे हैं, वो प्रोजेक्ट में भी बिमल कृष्ण प्रभु सेवा कर रहे हैं, और राधानाथ प्रभु न्यू भक्त ट्रेनिंग में गाइड कर रहे हैं नए भक्त को. तो इसी तरह से हालांकि महाराज शारीरिक रूप में हमारे बीच में मौजूद नहीं हैं, फिर भी बहुत सारे जगह में महाराज के शिष्य लोग बहुत अच्छे से सेवा किए जा रहे हैं.
Till today, they form part as a very important part of this ISKCON society. Till today, these disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj are very important part of this ISKCON society all over the world.
संपूर्ण विश्व में महाराज के बहुत सारे शिष्य लोग हैं जो विश्व के अलग अलग जगह में बहुत अच्छे से सेवा कर रहे हैं.
And I would humbly pray to all of you. It is such an august assembly, such sincere devotees, under the direction of a very exalted personality. So somehow or other, whatever Maharaj has established, whatever he has learned from Srila Prabhupada, and how much he could care that the image of Srila Prabhupada is not tarnished. The society delivers the teachings of the scriptures in its purest form. This is what we have learned, or at least this is what I have learned from His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj in my life. So I pray to all of you, please give your blessings that I can also follow in his footsteps, and I would pray to all of you, we should definitely make our conviction, our faith more strong and try to follow by the example what he has laid down. This will be a great tribute to him.
तो महाराज ने अपने जीवन में श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के संस्था में जो ऊंचा स्तर प्रस्तुत किए हैं हमारे सामने, वो घटना नहीं चाहिए. वो जो स्टैंडर्ड है उसमें कोई कमियां नहीं आनी चाहिए. और ये जो सभा है, हम सब से प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि हमें भी आशीर्वाद प्रदान करें ताकि हम भी महाराज के चरण चिन्हों में चल सकें.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripasindivyavcha patitanam vaishnavibhyo namaha.
Thank you, Maharaj, for highlighting Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj's wonderful qualities. Now, can we invite Bhakti Dir Damodar Maharaj? Please, Maharaj, there's so many. We have time. We have time.
Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshulunmilitanjana Tasmai Sri Gurvetama Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sarvasamjana Bhutale Shayam Rupakadam Himratishwa Padantikam Namam Vishnu Padya Krishna Prisaya Bhutale Smate Bhakti Saraswami Tinami Namam Vishnu Padya Krishna Prisaya Bhutale Smate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharana Nirvisesa Sangya Vadi Pastatyadi Satala Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Siva Sadi Gaura Bhakturana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. I didn't have much association with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, but I have heard so many things about him as I was hearing from many speakers. I also remember some years ago we had many devotees from West Africa came to India, and happened to be Kumbh Mela period at that time. So Maharaj invited the West African devotees to Ujjain. And while the devotees were there for 2 weeks, I saw how Maharaj was personally dealing with the devotees. He was personally holding the mic for them to lead the kirtan. He was personally serving the devotees. He was so caring. And not that he was doing that to make a show, but he was doing it naturally from his heart, which is very, very good example that devotees should be cared for. He has a caring nature for the devotees. So he showed that personally. I was amazed when I saw he was holding a mic for devotees to lead the kirtan. You know, he's a very powerful kirtan leader. But he was encouraging devotees to do this kirtan. Throughout the whole parade, he was there every day, holding the mic. He could have us. He has so many disciples, assigned the service to the disciples to do. But he was doing it himself personally, to show his fatherly nature, to show his appreciation for devotees to come. He appreciated the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that throughout the whole world, he made many devotees. And he is very appreciative. For that, he was showing this by some personal example, by taking care of devotees very nicely. So this I saw with him. I was very, very impressed to see that we have such a powerful leader in our movement who are not just just philosophically inclined or powerful, but they have the bhakti to show what they are preaching. Also, I used to have the difficulty to understand from our scripture where is a scientific progression from Vaidhi Bhakti to Baba Bhakti. And I've listened to so many scholars, so many preachers, and so many our senior devotees speaking so many things. I will say that His Holiness Bhakti Charu was the devotee who actually satisfied and convinced me the practical application, the practical technologies, how to transcend Vaidhi to Baba Bhakti. So I feel very respectful to him for his knowledge in Krishna consciousness. But other lectures I have heard from him. So I'm very, very impressed to have His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. And he's one of our powerful leaders in this movement. And I also heard that when Srila Prabhupada was living here, Maharaj was here. And in the scripture it is recommended that a genuine disciple should live with the spiritual master when the spiritual master leaves the body. He should go with the spiritual master. We have heard this from the scripture, and we have heard this, many devotees say this. A devotee who actually practiced this is Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. When Prabhupada was put into samadhi, he didn't want to leave, he wanted to go with Prabhupada. And he was there, and they filled the sand up to his neck before His Holiness Tamalkrishna Maharaj saw him that he was still there. He was determined to go. He didn't want to stay out of Prabhupada. And then Tamalkrishna Goswami saw him, he called him, Maharaj, come out! Before they pulled him out of the... Then he came out. So for him to disappear the way he did is not a surprise because he had left a long time. He left with Prabhupada a long time back. So his recent disappearance is just a physical one. But internally, he has already left with his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj is a wonderful devotee, and we remain eternally grateful to him. Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Maharaj. Can we now invite Janava Mataji? I believe she's here from Pune, I was told. Okay, she's coming. As Golokanand Maharaj pointed out, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was very particular, and he had a great eye for detail. And many of the projects which he undertook, he actually micromanaged to guide the devotees who's taken care of that particular project. One is Amal Bhakta Prabhu, which was mentioned by Maharaj. And Prabhupada deities which were produced in Ujjain, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj got the original mold from Lochan Das Prabhu from America. And then with that, Maharaj was making Prabhupada deities, but he modified few things slightly and to the perfection we see today. Mataji?
Hare Krishna. So I really have no qualifications to speak, but since you're giving me a chance, I would like to glorify Maharaj. So I had the good fortune to host Maharaj at my residence in Pune. Srila Prabhupada said, my devotee is a perfect gentleman. I think he was referring to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Because he was always so polite, so kind, and he exhibited perfect Vaishnava qualities. Today is the disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami, and he said, some people behave well but do not preach well, while others preach well but do not behave well. But I see that Bhakti Charu Maharaj was a wonderful example of Vaishnava qualities, and he preached so well all over the world. And his relationship with all levels of devotees was perfect, with his god brothers, with disciples of his god brothers, and with children of his god brothers, what to speak of grandchildren of god brothers. So I was one of those. So my spiritual master is His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So my daughter was very friendly with Prema Manjari, who was the secretary of Maharaj for some time. So they would often visit my home. So Prema Manjari invited my daughter Braj Kumari to come to Mayapur to help her with the GBC meetings. So after the meetings were over, my daughter did some seva, and then she said, I have to go back. She was very young. She was in school. So she went to meet Maharaj and thank him and express her heartful gratitude. So Maharaj said that, why are you leaving so early? Innocently she said, I have school. I have to go back to school and my train tickets are booked. So Maharaj said, don't worry, I will send you by plane. And please accept this gift from your spiritual uncle. So my daughter was very touched. Of course, she did not take it up. But it was so kind of him to express this. Then on another incident, he was in my house and he stayed for a week. And I had another daughter, Shyam Sundari. So both of them were serving Maharaj very well. And after a few days, when he was about to leave, again he instructed his secretary, Prema Manjari, to go and buy saris for my children. So it was such a touching, gesture for a sannyasi to think of offering saris to, little girls. So, of course, that gift of love that he gave is etched in my heart. It's a material gift, but I see the spirituality behind that, and my children cherish those two saris that they kept for a very long time with them, remembrance of Maharaj. So I'm grateful to Maharaj that he has left such a beautiful memory in our hearts, and his loving ways, his kindness upon me and my family will always be remembered. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Ishwar Prabhu, can we invite now to say a few words, please?
Agyana Trivandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksun Umitan Yanatasma Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chitamano Vistan Stapita Yanabotale Sayarupa Kadavayan Dedati Swapadantikam Vanchakapa Turibias Chakripas Unibivacha Patitana Pavana Vyo Vaishnava Vyo Namo Namaha Slaprabhupada Ki Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj Ki. So, in one of the Subhashitam verses, it is said, Swagrehe Bhajate Mokha, Swagrame Bhajate Prabhu, Swadeshe Bhajate Raja, Vidwan Savatra Bhajate. That a foolish person is worshipped in his home, a chief is worshipped in his village, a king is worshipped in his kingdom, but a vidwan, a wise person, is worshipped everywhere, all over. So this is the situation of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Is such a wonderful person who has left such an indelible mark on everyone all over the world of ISKCON, that at least I've been hearing about him since the early 80s, about Bhakti Charu Maharaj, in terms of his intelligence, his dedication to Prabhupada's mission. I remember back in the mid-80s, when just a little bit, maybe around 86, 87, when ISKCON was started undergoing the trouble, when the retweet movement was beginning. That time, some few devotees, they started propagating the retweet that, yes, Prabhupada is the only guru, this and that. So that time, I remember Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who was asked by the GBC to write to counter this argument that was going on in the society. So that time, I remember Bhakti Charu Maharaj writing heavily to people like Nityananda, Kanamrita, Rupa. I'm sure you know them, Prabhu. So he was writing about them with a sound scripture argument that this Rituk idea is very, very bogus thing, and all that. So Maharaj, and of course, I know many devotees have said so many wonderful things, so there's not much I can say because, but some of the qualities of Maharaj is dedication to Prabhupada's mission. The Prabhupada, for example, for the unity of ISKCON and the establishment of Prabhupada as the founder, the Siksha Guru, the founder Acharya of the society. This is one of the greatest contributions of Maharaj to make this solidify into the heart of ISKCON devotees. Just like, for example, in every year, in its Vyasa Puja ceremony, especially in Mayapur, so every year, instead of devotees be glorifying him, Maharaj will actually have devotees be glorifying Prabhupada. He himself will be, make sure that the Prabhupada is to be glorified, not him, even though normally on the Guru Puja Day, the Vyasa Puja Day, the Guru is glorified. But Maharaj will have devotees glorifying Prabhupada instead. So he always call his Guru Puja festival as Srila Prabhupada's festival. That's what Maharaj will do. And I think that was he was doing until this last moment when he passed away. And I remember in the ISKCON program which was done, I think it was 2018. So that time Maharaj he had published this booklet which says the Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya. And he personally paid for it, and this was distributed to all the devotees that time. So which means Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he had no personal ambition. He had no personal ambition. He had no personal glories. His mission was to see that Srila Prabhupada is firmly established into the hearts of the devotees, into the hearts of all ISKCON devotees. Even though he was such a great Pandit himself, when you hear his bhajan, you will just completely be mesmerized by it. So Maharaj had so many wonderful qualities. Not just that, even such things as cooking. One time I was fortunate in South Africa when that time Maharaj had invited Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj for a lunch. So I was also fortunately invited also for that lunch. And Maharaj personally cooked. And that dish, that was the best prasad I've ever taken before in my whole life in ISKCON. Such a banquet, such a delicious preparation that Maharaj made. So I think Maharaj used to cook for Prabhupada. So I'm sure those who have tasted his cooking, they can testify. So Maharaj was expert in everything. Expert in everything he do. So anyway, it's a sad thing that Maharaj had to leave us suddenly. But at the same time, as Bhakti Thakur said, a Vaishnava never die. He died to live, to spread the holy name around. So his passing was also another preaching, another glorification of the holy name of the Lord. So anyway, thank you very much for tolerating my speech. So Jai Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you very much, Ishwar Prabhu. Can we now invite Dhritarashtra Prabhu? Dhritarashtra Prabhu. Prabhuji wanted to make a singing offering. He wanted to sing a bhajan earlier on for Maharaj.
नहीं
पहले करना चाहते थे.
नहीं, पहले होना चाहिए था. मैं थोड़ा बोलूँगा जो उनके साथ मेरा समय बिता. वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हिज होलीनेस भक्ति चारू महाराज की जय. महाराज से मैं 1979 में बम्बई में उनके साथ उनके संग करने मिला. तो महाराज 3 दिन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे गोपी गीत. वो लेक्चर देना था गोपीनाथ टेम्पल ग्राउंड रोड, राधानाथ महाराज का सेंटर है. तो एक भक्त को लेके प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे महाराज. वो उनका नहीं जम रहा था. तो टेम्पल कमांडर को पूछा, अरे कोई और ये है प्लेयर है क्या, ये भक्त ठीक से नहीं बजा रहे. बोला महाराज है, एक भक्त है उड़ीसा से आया है अभी. बोला ठीक है लेके आओ. तो मैं बोला मेरे को तो अभी समय नहीं प्रैक्टिस के लिए. ठीक है उनको मैं लेके चलता हूँ प्रोग्राम में डायरेक्ट. मुझे भी डर लग रहा है महाराज क्या गाएंगे क्या नहीं. तो वो 3 दिन प्रैक्टिस कर रहा था. उसी भक्त को भी लेके और मेरे को भी लेके, दोनों को लेके हम लोग गए. तो वहां पर डायरेक्ट महाराज को मुझे मृदंग दे दे और गोपी गीत गाए. और महाराज इतना खुश हो गए. उसी दिन से बम्बई में जितने प्रोग्राम उनके लाइफ में हुआ मुझे लेके ही प्रोग्राम किए. प्रोग्राम कीर्तन ज्यादा करते थे और लेक्चर बहुत शॉर्ट देते थे. इतना कीर्तन में महाराज की श्रद्धा है, प्रेम में है. सभी तो देखे हैं अभी. तो प्रवचन के बाद प्रसाद जिस घर में प्रोग्राम होता था उनको बोलते थे इनको पहले दो प्रसाद. बोला नहीं महाराज, अरे ले लो आप लो, आप बहुत मृदंग बजाया. आप लोग नहीं जानते, वो सारी सबको बोलते आप लोग नहीं जानते. चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहा कीर्तनर परिश्रम जाने गोरा राय, 4 जनर खावार 1 जन के दाय. चैतन्य महाप्रभु स्वयं अपने हाथों से जो मृदंग बजाते थे उनको 4 जन का प्रसाद 1 जन को देते थे. वो बात सही बात है, मेरे अनुभव है. मैं बॉम्बे टेम्पल में बहुत खाता था बहुत खाता था. और कीर्तन में ऐसे होता था मेरा हजम हो जाता था. हाँ, तो ऐसे महाराज के साथ मेरा समय बीता. तो एक दिन मैं 1:30 बजे उठ जाता था और लॉबी में आके जप करता था उस समय. तो महाराज एक दिन किसी जगह से वो आए, मेरे को देखे. बोला मेरे को धृतराष्ट्र कभी नहीं बोले. बोले सूरदास प्रभु आप इतना जल्दी यहाँ बैठे हो. बोला महाराज मैं हर दिन बैठता हूँ. बोला नहीं अभी बहुत टाइम है, अभी 1:30 बज रहे, चलो मेरे कमरा में सो जाएंगे। मैं बोला महाराज के साथ आ रहे उनके कमरा में, मुझे डर लग रहा है। और वहां 3 बेड था, अपने असिस्टेंट को भी वहां नहीं सुलाते, लेकिन महाराज बोले आप इधर सो जाओ, और बगल में महाराज। मेरे को नींद कहाँ आएगा, मुझे शर्म आता है, डर भी लग रहा है। तो 3:45 बजे महाराज का अलार्म बज गया। उससे पहले महाराज को मैं नहीं बोला कुछ, मैं चुपचाप उठ के भागना चाहता था मंदिर में। महाराज की नींद खोले, बोले कहाँ जा रहे हो? बोले मंदिर। बोले रुको मैं नहा लेता हूँ। स्नान के महाराज लिफ्ट में मेरा हाथ पकड़ के मंदिर में आए। सब लोग चकित हो गए, अरे इनको महाराज हाथ पकड़ के लेके आ रहे हैं। प्रभुपाद को प्रणाम किए। मैं बहुत भाग्यशाली हूँ, जितने वैष्णव प्रभुपाद डिसाइपल अभी गुरु है, उन लोग का क्या क्या मेरे साथ बीता, सबका व्यास पूजा के तिरुभाव आविर्भाव में मैं बोलूंगा। तो महाराज ऐसे कीर्तन में मेरे साथ हमेशा मेरे को साथ लेते थे। मायापुर हम लोग आए थे 25 साल पहले। हरे कृष्णा, ये मेरा एक दोस्त जो गाया सूर्य बंशीधारी, तो उसमें मेरा मृदंग था, तो उधर रिलीज नहीं हुआ बॉम्बे में, तो मायापुर आए गौर पूर्णिमा में। महाराज से मिले। महाराज ऐसे हम लोग एक भजन यहाँ स्टेज में गाना चाहते। बोला हाँ मेरा प्रवचन पहले बाद में करूँगा, आप लोग पहले करो। परमिशन मिल गया तो इतना खुश हो गया हम दोनों। तो जाके लेक्चर कीर्तन शुरू किए, उसके बाद महाराज प्रवचन दिए। बाद में महाराज बुलाए, मेरे को बुलाए, उनको भी नहीं, मेरे को बुलाए। बोला सूरदास प्रभु आपको क्या दो? मैं सोचा क्या मांगू, कुछ तो मांगना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं सुना महाराज का बहुत रिच डिसाइपल है। हाँ ये सही बात है, मैं सुना था। बोले बहुत रिच डिसाइपल है, कुछ तो मांगना ही चाहिए, कुछ डॉलर फलर कुछ मांगो, ऐसा सोचा। तो मैं बोला महाराज आप आशीर्वाद दीजिए। मेरे यही बोला। महाराज एक हरिनाम चादर चैतन्य महाप्रभु का एक बीट पे मुझे दिए है, जो कि आज मैं राधा रास श्याम सुंदर को जैसे प्रणाम करता हूँ, उसी चीज को मैं ऐसे रखा हूँ महाराज का। ऐसे महाराज के तो साथ बहुत समय, और प्रभुपाद जो फिल्म बनाए उसमें तो हम काफी समय महाराज के साथ दिए। और ऐसे मधुर कंठ से महाराज जो कीर्तन करते हैं, और महाराज अपना वैष्णव ढांचा में जो कीर्तन करते हैं, मंगला आरती गुरु पूजा, अभी तो नहीं करते भक्त लोग, कुछ अलग ढांचा हो गया, जैसे ट्रेन चलते छक 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 ऐसे हो गया आजकल का कीर्तन। उस समय वैष्णव ढांचा के महाराज से मंगला आरती गुरु पूजा में उनके चरण चिन्ह को लेके मैं चलता हूँ। आज उनका गुरु पूर्णिमा है। देखिए इतने सुंदर दिवस है, गुरु और उनके पूर्णिमा। उसी पूर्णिमा में आज उनका तिरुभाव है। हम जब सुने तो हमको बहुत फील हुआ, लेकिन अच्छा है हम ये भागवत गीता वैष्णव लोग से सुन करके अभी महाराज बताए हैं ना, मैं इतना जल्दी नहीं जाऊंगा, तो बाद में बताए हम शरीर नहीं, ये आत्मा है। जब नया कुर्ता अगर मिल रहे तो आनंद से लेते, तो शरीर नया मिल रहा तो आनंद लेना चाहिए। ये शब्द को हमेशा हम लोग ध्यान में रखना चाहिए, ताकि, लेकिन बड़ी दुख की बात है जितने भी गुरु महाराज के शिष्य है देश विदेश गए हैं, वो पुराना कपड़ा नहीं छोड़ना चाहते ना। नाम तो नहीं लूंगा, करबे 110-15 डिब्यूटी का नाम मेरे को याद है। पुराना कपड़ा कोई छोड़ना नहीं चाहते, इतने मतलब भ्रष्ट हो गया, नहीं छोड़ना चाहते। कोई अच्छा भक्त है, हमसे तो अच्छा भक्त है। मैं यहाँ आकर के 2-2.5 महीना हमारी फॉरेन भक्त, फॉरेन माता जी को देख के मुझे बड़ा प्रभावित हो रहा है। अरे हमारे इंडिया भक्त देश विदेश में जा करके अपना पुराना शरीर को क्या करना चाहिए, नया शरीर कैसे धारण करना चाहिए, इस चीज को भूल चुके हैं। ये बड़ी दुख की बात है। महाराज से ही निवेदन करता हूं, वो गोलोक में रह करके अपने शिष्य को कृपा करे, जाके अपने जीवन को पहचाने और इसी प्रभुपाद के मार्ग में आकर के मायापुर वृंदावन धाम में आखिरी समय वास करे, यही प्रार्थना करता हूँ। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, धन्यवाद आपका, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अगली बार आपसे भजन गवाएंगे। थैंक यू। Now we can like to call Mitravinda Mataji to come, and she's a very senior disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, and also a wonderful singer. She actually teaches. She's also a teacher. Come, Mataji, come.
My dearest Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble, respectful pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Guru Maharaj, as you know, my English is not good, so it's very difficult for me to express my heart, what I am going through after your departure. But you want us to write in English only. I am trying to write. Guru Maharaj, I miss you so much. Always remembering your smiling face, your unparalleled love for us. In spite of being in a female body, I got however much opportunity to serve, and still coming by is only possible due to your causeless mercy, Guru Maharaj. Whenever I share with devotees that I am your disciple, they make me realize how fortunate I am. My only identity is I am your disciple, Guru Maharaj. But when you are present, due to my ignorance, I took you for granted. In ISKCON, you have such a unique position, Guru Maharaj. Devotees love you so much, they miss you so much. Your love for Srila Prabhupada is so special and exemplary, there is no comparison. You always try to carry Srila Prabhupada's mood and instructions in the core of your heart. I am always praying to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada that please be merciful unto me so that I can become a devotee the way my Guru Maharaj wants. Guru Maharaj, I was thinking some days before, what is my favorite service? Making garland, singing for Lord, or cooking for Lord? Then I realized my favorite service is singing for Lord, but in your presence. I always remembering those golden days, but I don't know when it is possible again. Guru Maharaj, please allow me to always love you, always remember you, to always be your daughter. And I can follow your footsteps, one day make you feel proud for who I would be. Guru Maharaj, please forgive me for all my offenses as my spiritual father. You are my only hope, your grace is my only hope. Your most unqualified daughter, Mitravinda Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Aishwarya Radhika Mataji. After that, Devaki Mataji, please.
नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामी नीति नामिने स्निग्ध चेत सुप्रणेत वाग्नि नाम च रसाप्लुताम प्रभुपाद गतप्राण नमि भक्ति चारुपदम वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. My English is also very bad, but I will try to speak little. I had written a Bengali poem as my offering to Guru Maharaj's lotus feet, which I am going to read after little bit memories I want to share. I was wanting to share it from long time, but I didn't get the opportunity. 2013 I got the opportunity to glorify Guru Maharaj on his Vyasa Puja in front of him, and that day I was saying half Prabhupada Pranam Mantra, and Guru Maharaj, then I started uttering Guru Maharaj's Pranam Mantra, and Guru Maharaj stopped me there, and he said, finish Prabhupada Pranam Mantra fast. So I finished Prabhupada Pranam Mantra, then I again started Guru Maharaj's Pranam Mantra, then I prayed to the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, then I started in the same way. After that, I remember all the time, then whenever I will glorify Guru Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada, I should finish my Pranam Mantra, no matter whatever no time is there. So it is like, I am feeling like it is just yesterday's story. I met Guru Maharaj just before some day, and suddenly I saw that 20 years passed. I don't know how. I don't know. I didn't feel that it is 20 years, just yesterday. When I was in Mumbai for becoming a playback singer, Bapi uncle took me there to become, gave me a lot of opportunities. And so once I was singing in Juhu temple in front of Radha Ras Bihari, and suddenly I saw some very effulgent, a very bright person is coming inside with a smiling face and looking at me. And encouraging me when I was singing. And I don't know, I stopped singing and trying to follow his lotus feet. That was the first meeting with Guru Maharaj. Darshone pavitra karo ei tomar gun. And that time, from my childhood, my desire was to becoming a playback singer only. And just by seeing him, my whole thing changed, my whole plan of life is changed, completely changed. I followed his lotus feet up to his room. Lot of brahmacharis were sitting there. I'd never cared who was sitting there. I just crossed them and sat in front of Guru Maharaj's lotus feet and watching them like that. Some attraction was there all the time. I don't know, throughout, whenever he was there, I used to run after him. No matter if there is Prabhuji, Mataji standing, I don't care of anyone else. I just ran. It is like special attraction all the time. I felt Guru Maharaj attracting me. Those days also, till now he is attracting me. All the time he is attracting me. And Guru Maharaj's first instruction, when he saw me, he don't know that I was Bengali. He just told me in Bengali, why you are not in Bengali? Tumi Radharani, Srimati Radharani's jonno keno gaan gaicho na? Why you are not singing for Srimati Radharani? I said, I don't know how to sing for Srimati Radharani. Then Guru Maharaj said, okay, come tomorrow, I will teach you. And it was the Bhagavatam class. He was singing Jai Radha Madhava with a very sweet voice. Again, I was just looking at him. And I can remember the date because it was just before the day of my birthday. And he called me on my birthday again back to me. So it was 21st of November 2002. And then the next day, he called me again for teaching me the singing for Srimati Radharani. And it was like he was singing Jai Radha Madhav. And he gave me a big laddu with a big garland, and it was very nice. Since that time, I started following Guru Maharaj, and many times it was his causeless mercy on me that I got the opportunity to be with him, to serve him at my home. He used to come and stay in Kolkata at our home. I used to get up before him, try to follow. Then when his room's light is on, I just can go to the roof. I just can sit in just beside the room. When he start chanting, I can listen to the soft sound of his chanting from inside of the room. And whenever I'm chanting these mornings alone in my room, still I can hear, those sound is vibrations. It's still in my heart. That sound still attracting me. That sound I can still hear. And whenever he leaves the room, a divine sweet smell, I used to run to the room when he's leaving, and I used to smell that room. Still I can remember the smell, and it is so nice. He left his glass of water, his garlands, his used clothes, and sometimes like his toothbrush. When he used to go to Kolkata temple for delivering his speech, I don't go because I know that I can wash them, I can get the chance to touch them, I can clean them. And Guru Maharaj used to notice each single things that whatever change in the room, he used to ask, Aishwarya, you did, right? And it is a blessings for me. And when the time came for my marriage, I used to just avoid. Guru Maharaj said, why you are not ready for the marriage? I said, Guru Maharaj, I don't want to miss the opportunity to serve you. This is a much more better life, which I will not going to get back again. Then Guru Maharaj said, okay, then in this way, like 5 years passed. After 25, means like 30, then 32, then 33, then my parents just strongly said, Guru Maharaj, now Aishwarya should get married. And this time Guru Maharaj is very strong on me. Aishwarya, now you should get married. And I still started arguing with Guru Maharaj, stupid. I was so stupid. And Guru Maharaj, see, Draupadi have 5 pure devotee husbands. But in the meantime, when she need, they didn't help. Krishna helped. You are there for helping me. Krishna is there. Why I need husband? I don't need husband. Then Guru Maharaj shouted very heavily, which is like very heavy. And I just start crying and ran from the room. Then after 1 hour, Guru Maharaj called me. And again he said that, Aishwarya, you should get married. Someday I will be not there. Then you need someone to take care of you. And I said, Guru Maharaj, okay, if this is your desire, then I will definitely fulfill it, your desire. I will not see whomever he is, my parent will arrange, I will get married. And in that way, I came to Vrindavan with my Prabhu. He is a pujari of Shri Gopinath, Radha Gopinath. And in this way, I can see that how Guru Maharaj is still now with me and he is guiding me in each and every way. And there is a lot of memory. It is not possible for share his memories in 1 hour, in 1 week, in 1 month, in 1 year. It will be short for if I start speaking about him in full life will be not like very short for me to discuss about Guru Maharaj because I have so many things to share and till nowadays I can see then whenever something bad I think Guru Maharaj used to shout from inside. In this way, you thought you will come back to me? No, you will not be able to come back to me in this way. Change yourself, change your mind, change your activities. And still, I am trying my best to change my activities. It is still not purified. It is still not what Guru Maharaj actually want me. Please, all the Vaishnavas, all the devotees, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, I pray onto you, all of your lotus feet. Please bless me. So that really one day I can become a very good disciple of my Guru Maharaj. Whatever he wants from me, I can fulfill his desire. Now I want to just read the poem, what I want to offer to Guru Maharaj. It's in Bengali. Hey Guru Maharaj, Anath koriya more eghor koli andhokare, kaha tumi korile prosthan, e bishal dharoni majhe, তব শিশু একা কাঁদে মাতৃহারা সম হয় এ পরাণ দিগবিদিক শূন্য সব মিথ্যা সব বৈভব এ জীবন বড় মূল্যহীন কণ্টকাকীর্ণ পথ এই তাতে অন্ধ পঙ্গুময়ী তোমা বিনা কেমনে পার হই যবে তুমি ছিলে কাছে আনন্দে ভরা জগৎ মাঝে কৃষ্ণ কীর্তনে রেখেছিলে করে মগ্ন দুর্লভ সেই কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি তব কৃপায় ছিল সহজ অতি প্রাপ্ত হয়েছিলাম ধন্য তব শক্তিতে প্রচার কার্য চলছিল ভালো মতো নিত্য আনন্দে জীবন ছিল ভরে তখন ভাবিনি প্রভু এমন দিন আসবে কভু ভব সমুদ্রে একা রব পড়ে মূর্খ আমি জ্ঞানহীন, তাহে পাপ অপরিসীম। রাত্র দিন জীবন পাপময়, মো সমপতিত জীবে কে করুণা ভিক্ষা দিবে? তুমি তো সে একাই ছিলে কৃপাময়। পাক হতে তুমি মোরে নিজ হস্তে যত্ন করে পবিত্রময় করেছিলে এ জীবন। তুমি বিনা এ জীবন ভার সম লাগে এখন, জীবনের থেকে প্রিয় হয়েছে মরণ। পতিত পাবন গুরু মহারাজ, শুনো মোর বিনতি আজ, এ অধমে লহ নিজ সাধ। বিরহ বাসরে আজ ঐশ্বর্যের আর্তনাদ, লহ তুমি লহ নিজ সাধ। গুরুদেব কৃপাময়, মোর প্রতি হও সদয়, তুমি না নিলে কি হবে মোর গতি? এ জীবন ব্যথাময়, শীতল তব চরণোদয়, বৃদ্ধি হোক শ্রীচরণে মোর রতি। জয় শ্রী গুরু মহারাজ।
Hari Bol. Thank you. Devaki Mataji, please come. Due to time restriction, she is the last speaker, the last contributor today. After that, we will have a Pushpanjali and Arati. You could just feel the devotion, the sentiments, although I don't understand so much Bengali, but just the sentiments and the devotion was all around in that poem. Thank you, Mataji. अगर आप थोड़ा सा आगे आ सकते हैं, पीछे काफी भक्त हैं, थोड़ा सा आगे खिसक जाइए। हरे कृष्ण।
So sorry. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Srila Gurudev and all the assembled Vaishnavas, please accept my most humble obeisances. Firstly, I would give my heartfelt thanks to all the senior Vaishnavas who have glorified Srila Gurudev and reminded us of such wonderful qualities that he had. And I'm the junior most disciple here. So for me, listening and hearing all these qualities, it gives me immense strength, because these 3 years have been a very, very difficult period, and I'm like a growing devotee in the movement, and such a big change is very difficult to surpass. But such wonderful points all these senior devotees has given me so much strength. I'm taking back so much today from here. And some of the wonderful qualities Guru Maharaj you have has actually made me strong over the period. I remember the last I met Guru Maharaj was in Mayapur 2019 in December, and that time he was giving initiation, and I didn't know that would be the last time I would meet him personally, in person. And in that initiation he was very, very grave, and he took a promise from all his disciples, and he said that I want you to sign it and put it in the living room wherever you are in your houses, and that you'll never leave ISKCON, you'll never leave Srila Prabhupada, and your love for Prabhupada will be shown the way you all cooperate for each other, and don't dilute anything within the movement. And I was just wondering why Guru Maharaj being so heavy and strong on these words, and so much to learn from him today, that Guru Maharaj is such a Prabhupada man. Wherever he went, whatever he did, his walks, his talks, he represented Srila Prabhupada in the perfect way. And may I become an instrument in serving Srila Prabhupada someday in a minute way. I just would like to take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled here today, that I may become a worthy disciple someday. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I think there's still a couple of minutes. They're getting ready. I think it's Amritesh Krishna Prabhu wanted to say a few words. Is he here? Huh? Okay, we are ready now. We'll request you to please stand up, get ready for Pushpanjali and Arati. Thank you.